Well, I've come to a little bit of a standstill on the Greaves project, just waiting for some parts for that so I can get on with some more on that. In the meantime, I have a little job to do on the Triumph, and that is to fit an oil pressure gauge. I have a switch on that at the moment, which just does the little red light on the headlight bucket. But yeah, I want to fit a gauge, so picked this one up. Wasn't a lot of money. It is a high level 314-500 gauge. Now that was advertised as having UNF thread on here, and because I wanted to fit the this push fit tube, and I wanted to use these, I couldn't find a UNF one to go on there. So I then found this UNF adapter, which is so this is 1/8 BSP, this on this end, and this is the push fit for the tube for the pipe. So yeah, fits on there fine, no problem. Doesn't fit on there. That's not UNF. Right, so after that failure, I then worked out this is actually 1/8 NPT. So I've got a 1/8 NPT connector to go on there, so we solved the problem that end. Now the other end where the switch go, I try to think what the thread is that's in there. It will probably come to me sometime, but yeah, at any rate, I can't find one of these little adapters to fit that particular thread. I think it's cycle thread, I think it's what it is. 26, it's either 26 or 28 TPI. So I can't find anything to fit that, so I'm going to have to make a little brass adapter for that end. This is just what size is that? That's 8mm. Yeah, so I can just make a little adapter, a little brass adapter for the other end, so that will sort that little problem out. And like I say, I'm just going to run this tube, which it's just push fit tube. Yeah, so that's that. What's that one in there? Yeah, so the next thing is how to actually mount the gauge. So what I'm going to do, I've got, this is just a aluminium mirror mounting clamp which will fit the handlebars, so I'm going to fit one of those in the middle of the handlebars, so it'll be like that, or probably that way round. And I'm going to make a little aluminium bracket to go on there, which will hold that. So that's the plan. Right, so put all this away. Yeah, so I've got a little piece of aluminium here. This is I think that's 4mm thick, so that should be plenty good enough. So all I've got to do is transfer that to there, cut that out, and make my little bracket. So I think that'll be the first job. So I'll get this marked up to start with. Right, so I think the best way to tackle this is drill these holes first and then do the outer shape. That'll sort of give me a line to go on. So first of all, I'll just centre pop these two marks. So that one will be straightforward enough. That'll just be drill a hole. This one I shall probably have to get it on the well, I'll start by drilling that hole. I'll drill out to start with, as big as a big drill bit I've got, and then I'll have to get it on the mill and I'll just use a boring tool just to enlarge that. Well, I actually realised I had a 44mm what they call hole saw. So I've used that. I probably would have got a neater hole with the mill, but I think this will do the job. I'll just tidy that up a bit, and then we'll see how well the gauge actually fits in there. I'm probably going to have to fix it in with some silicone or something anyway. So yeah, I'll give that a tidy up. We'll have a look. Right, let's see how close we are. Yeah, a little bit of a loose fit, but that's okay. Like I say, we'll get some silicone around that, and that will fit in there. Just a job. The trouble with those hole saws, they do tend to make the hole slightly bigger than that should be. But yeah, save a lot messing around. Right, so now I've just got to cut out the shape. Yes, I won't bother to video that. That's going to be rather tedious, I think. It's going to hacksaw those flat bits off, hacksaw across there, hacksaw the corners off, and then set to work with the file, I think. Right, starting to shape this up now. Just hacksawed the worst of the corners off, and I've just now gone round the file. So just filed that round on there, which is going to need a little bit more to get it right, but yeah, it's coming along. I think I'll tackle these first and then do the final shaping once I've got the worst of it done. But yeah, coming along. Bit more off there, and then I'll start doing this side here. There we are. Don't think that's too far out. A little bit wider there, I think. But yeah, I think that's near enough. That will do it. So I think I'll just give that a little bit of a polish up, mount it on the bike, pop the gauge in, and see how it looks. Right, there we are. That should sit there, something like that. I think that's quite middle, but this will need to tighten down properly. But just to give you an idea, that should look something like that. The only thing I've got to check now is put the thing on the back here, the connector, make sure it's going to run okay, I'm going to move about okay, and then I've got to make the adapter for the other end. But yeah, I don't think that'll be too bad. Right, there's plenty of clearance there. The only thing is, this pipe I've got is really stiff, so I might see if I can find something a bit more flexible than that. That's a really hard plastic, and yeah, there's not a lot of flex in it, so that might make that a bit difficult there when you come to turn. Right, but yeah, it all fits anyway. That was the bit I was sort of concerned about, was the length of this bit on here, but actually I think that'll be alright. Just need to find some way of fixing that down. I have got some Sikaflex. I might try that, see how well that holds it. Yeah, if I can't find some more flexible stuff, I'm not sure where that will hold it. You might need a bit more mechanical means, but yeah, we shall see. Right, so I now need to make this little adapter, which is going to go in place of the switch there, so I can use this little connector, quick fit connector, push fit connector up that end. So I just made a little drawing, basically what I need. Yeah, so it's going to be, that is actually an M8 fine on there. So it's going to go in that end, and then I'll need to 3/8 26 TPI up this end. Yeah, so just need to, and the other thing is I'll put some flats on here as well, so I can screw it in and out. Yeah, so I think first thing I would do, I think I'll face it off in the lathe, put a hole through, because it's got to have a hole right the way through. I'll see to allow the oil to flow. 4 or 5 mil will do it, I think. Yeah, so, well, let's get started. Right, because I haven't got a collet block, collet big enough to take this, I'm going to have to turn this end down first, 3/8 side. Yeah, so before that I'm going to actually bore the hole through to allow the oil to flow. So I'll drill that first. I would just put a center drill in there, so that's ready to go. So I'll just bore a hole through first, and I'll turn down the 3/8 bit here for threading, and yeah, then I can get that, before I cut a thread on it, I can get that end in the collet, because that'll be about between 9 and 10 mil, on which I have got a collet that will fit that, and then I can get that in the mill to do the flats up this end somewhere. That's the plan. Well, that's where we are so far. I did actually, while I had it in the lathe, I did just drill that out for 8 mil M8 fine tap, so it's a 7mm hole there. Yeah, and that's spot on 0.375 inch, so it's ready for tapping that end. I have just got to put in there, right in there, a little bit of the thread relief, but I will have to do it on the little mini lathe because I haven't got any tools small enough for the big lathe to do that. It just needs a little bit of thread relief in there. Then I'll get it in the mill, get the flats on, and that'll be ready for cutting the threads then. Alright, so here's the setup in the mill. So I've got it in this collet block, so I can just turn that round and get my hex on there. Larger mill, larger end mill than I'd like to use, but because I've got the 10mm collet in here and I haven't got another one, so I had to use a slightly bigger collet and mill. And I've got my things set up there, just about zeroed, so I know how deep I need to go on each side. So I'll get on and do that. I think I've videoed this before, so yeah, I won't bother showing that. I'll just show you the end result. Well, I thought I might as well just show the last flat going on. Yeah, so to make sure I get this in the same place each time, I just have a bit of flat on the end there and just push that up to there. Make sure that stays on the same alignment. But apart from that, it's just keep twisting it round until you're where you need to be. This is the last one. Right, so that should be, by my calculations, 18mm. Where are we? Well, there's an 18mm ring. There we are, fits on there, lovely. So that will do for that. I'll just tidy up these burrs. I might just run the lathe. Run it in the lathe again to do that, but apart from that, yeah, we've got our flats done. Right, there we are, that's that end threaded, so that's a 3/8 CEI, 26 thread. There's a nut, CEI nut, that goes on there, lovely, so we're okay that end. By the way, if you're going to make one of these, just check the thread that you have in your timing cover, because there are 3 different threads, three different possibilities, and you can't go by the necessarily go by the age of your machine, because they your bike, because they do tend to get changed out if they get damaged, so you never know exactly what's on there. So yeah, you just need to check your thread. Right, so that's that end done. Need to do that in now. Only problem being, I haven't got a 8mm or M8 fine tap, so I've just ordered one of those. So yeah, I just have to wait for that to turn up. But yeah, we're pretty much there. I'll just give this a blow through with the air, make sure we've got nothing in there. Well, actually, might as well wait until I tap that, I suppose. But yeah, that is pretty much it. and then we can get it fitted on the bike. Right, that's now tapped, so that will go in there. I just need a fibre washer in there. Don't think I'll bother with PTFE. I think that'll be okay. I did put some on the tapered end, but and obviously there'll be a fibre washer this end, which will go into the timing cover, so I'll just use the existing one there. And might be wondering why I've got a straight push connector. Well, I have found some much more flexible pipe. This is the stuff that I first bought, which is really stiff, but this can withstand a higher temperature. So what I intend to do is putting this sort of out of the engine, halfway up the tube, up the down tube of the frame, and then we'll carry on up to the oil gauge with this more flexible stuff. So I'll just use that to join the two in the middle. So yeah, I probably could have chanced putting this all the way up, but yeah, I thought we'll go with this first. If this seems okay after a little while, I might just change it all out for this much more flexible pipe. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, there we are. That's the connector, little brass adapter and the little connector in place. Pipe runs around here. I did actually get some heat on that from a heat gun, electric heat gun, just to put a bit of a bend on it, because it was sticking out rather a long way, and that just put that bend in just takes the stress off that little push-in connector, so hopefully that'll be okay. So just got that running up the down tube. There's that little straight connector, little push fit. Then I've got the more flexible stuff coming up here to the gauge. Turn that torch off. Yeah, so on that gauge I did just pretty much glue it in really with some, I didn't have Sikaflex in the end. I thought I had some, but I didn't. That's actually just some clear, whatever was it called? Clear, this stuff. Sticksall, that's what it is. Yeah, some clear Sticksall. So yeah, I mean it looks okay at the moment, but what that's going to look like after a little while, I don't know. It starts getting grubby and that. So might come up with something a little bit better than that. I'm not that happy with that, how that sits or how it looks. So, but for now, just for proof of concept, that will do the job. Right, anything left now to do is test it. Make sure we haven't got any leaks. Make sure it works. Yes, I'll have to fire up the old bike. And what I'm going to do with this is the connector that was on the pressure switch. What I'll do with that is I'll just put a ring fitting on the end of there, and I'll just ground that somewhere on there, maybe, or on there, somewhere in there. Plenty of places to bolt it to anyway. Yeah, so that will just act as a ignition on switch, then ignition on light. And yeah, if I ever do need to put the pressure switch back in for any reason, I can. I'll still have the connection there. Right, so let's get this thing started up. Right, well that's slowly dropping. Yeah, so the other thing, you probably saw me switch this off under here. That's my ignition switch at the moment, which I thought was going to be okay, but actually it's a bit of a pain in the neck. So yeah, I have got a little switch, so I'm going to have this panel off and drill a hole and put the ignition switch there. Right, for all those people who doubt whether you need to bleed your oil line to your gauge, yes you do. That was much more responsive after I bled it. I hadn't bled it on the previous sort of few clips, and you saw how quickly that dropped back down. So yes, I would suggest you do need to bleed your pipe. But apart from that, I think I might have a pressure relief valve problem or an oil pump problem. I'm going to go with pressure relief valve to start with. I think I might renew that because this is just not getting up to where it should be getting. Yeah, it should be at least 75 psi, which is around here, and as you can see it was not even really getting up to 60. So yeah, I think we've got a bit of a problem there. So yeah, that might be ordering a new PRV. I'll fit that and see if that cures it. If not, it's going to be oil pump, because neither of those were new. They were the original parts, or old parts, used parts. They weren't new parts. So yeah, another little job to do coming up. So thanks for watching. Please comment, please like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Next video should be on the greaves, assuming I get my spokes in time. Which yeah, there's a little bit of a story involved with that, but yeah, we'll get into that when I actually do the spoken.